Hey YouTube, it's Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and yes, mock draft season is here. Hopefully this video helps you guys kind of determine where players are going and where you should grab them, and hopefully help you guys out with your upcoming redraft season. So let's go. So like I mentioned, we are talking about mock drafts. Now I've got a 12-team league here, which means we're going to do a draft from 101 all the way to 112. So make sure you guys are subscribed to check out all those videos that I'm going to start posting. And hopefully this helps you guys out. Now, of course, if there are any type of formats you guys are looking for, hit me up in the comments down below. I would love to help you guys kind of get a better understanding, not just the basic redraft formats of like one quarterback, PPR, things like that, but maybe there's others. Maybe there's two quarterback, maybe there's 10-team leagues, things like that. Let me know down below. I would love to give you guys some more mock drafts to kind of really be customized to what you're looking for. Now, in here, I am the 101. So with that said, this is a full PPR league, meaning I'm going to base up most of my picks off of that. If you guys have questions, or if you guys have, again, like I said, any other types of formats, let me know. We're going to jump right into this and kind of see how this plays out with the CPU. Now, with the 101, this is going to be one of those things you can't go wrong with a couple of the players I'm going to mention here. Now, Jamar Chase tends to be the 101 right now, which is completely understandable. He was off last season. Now, I do expect a full season out of Higgins, which will affect Jamar Chase a little bit. But again, going Jamar Chase is not a bad thing. For me, I'm actually going to go Bijan Robinson for the safer route. I love grabbing running backs when I can because I am still that old school hero running back style where running backs are still such a hard position to fulfill. Wide receivers are a lot easier, so I'm going to go that route. Now, of course, being in a redraft PPR, you're going to go the snake route, which means you're not going to pick for a while. So as you can see here, you saw a lot of wide receivers go. Now, surprisingly, to see CeeDee Lamb at the 102 is a surprise. I mean, I love CeeDee Lamb, don't get me wrong. It's the Cowboy fan in me, and he is a great wide receiver, but I'm not quite sure I would put him there before I would put Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. It's close for Justin Jefferson, but again, not going that route. Again, a lot of great players. You see JT, the first rookie off the board. Love that play, especially in the second round. If you get Gibbs and JT, I think that's a perfect spot. Now, for me personally, I love the 105 to 107 range. That is my favorite spot when it comes to drafting. Now, being that this is not a two quarterback or a super flex, I'm not going to go quarterback early. That is my strategy alone. Hopefully, my strategy helps you guys out because I have done a great job in this. But with that said, everyone is different. When you see a player like Josh Allen there, I completely understand. Now, for me, looking at what the options are here, I've got Ladd McConkey, I've got, a Trey McBride, get a strong tight end. Now, I get to two players here, so I'm actually going to go running back again with Jonathan Taylor, and I am going to grab a wide receiver in this particular mark. Now, I have seen players and different league mates go strong running backs, meaning they get 3 in the first possible rounds. Maybe to use as trade bait, I'm not going to go that route. I am going to go and grab a wide receiver just because I think it's going to be a better outcome for me. Now, looking at the wide receivers I've got here, looking at this list, McConkey, Smith and Jigba, Higgins. For me, of all these players, I'm actually going to go Garrett Wilson. I think he's getting a great spot, especially with getting his quarterback from college in Justin Fields. I think that's a lot of people are kind of overlooking that, and I love Garrett Wilson. I think he could be easily a top 5 wide receiver this year, barring something crazy happening. Now you see the quarterbacks go off. Again, a little early for me. I understand it though. Jackson, Allen, and Daniels, I understand going early because those guys have the ability to just really take over your season and really have some success, especially because of their rushing ability. I'm not quite jumping on that yet because I have had better options going that route. Now, looking at what I've got, I still need wide receivers. I still need a tight end, things like that. Now, looking at the options here at wide receiver, you got Evans, who's been amazing, Adams, Moore, Metcalf. Not 100% sold on those players. For me, though, I am going to go wide receiver and grab Mike Evans, who is a fantastic wideout, who has been typically top 15 the last few years. Even though he's getting up there in age, I don't mind that at all. Now, quarterback route, I could go. Jalen Hurts is a strong option here because he has been a fantastic quarterback in fantasy, even though he has had some issues when it comes to his accuracy a little bit. He's still a great quarterback who can run and make some big plays. Because I'm looking at possible tight ends because most of them will be gone, this is also an option. When you look at the tight end position, I've got Laporta, who kind of had a down year. Hawkinson, Kelsey, like these are some older vets that I may kind of skip on that I can probably get at a later route. Again, I'm not going to go quarterback just because I still have some worries. I do got to fill out a flex position. I still got to fill up backup roles. So looking at the players here and looking at the options, I think the best option for me is going to be Kenneth Walker here. Kenneth Walker, yes, he's had some injuries. Yes, he's had some issues staying on the field. But with that said, new offense, new coaching staff, things like that. I think this is going to still be good for Kenneth Walker. I think he's still adjusting to everything. And I like this as my third running back. Again, I'm not overly concerned being that he's my flex. Now, looking at the options here, got to go wide receiver again. I'm not going to go quarterback yet because if you're looking at the quarterbacks that are here, Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix, Jared Goff, there's still a lot of great options I can get later on. Get those core positions, get your tight ends, get your wide receivers. So that's where I'm going to look at here. Now, looking at the tight end position, you start to see Laporta, Hawkinson, again, coming off the field. I'm not too worried. I'm going to stick with the wide receiver and running back portion. Now, looking at wide receivers, I got Worthy, Pickens, Ted McMillan, who I think is going to be great. Olave, it's a little bit risky, a little too early for me. And then you got some of the, rookie running backs, Harvey, right? You've got Quinshawn Judkins, who knows what's going to happen with the Browns. I'm actually going to play it a little bit safe, and I'm going to go George Pickens. I think this is a great option because of the Dallas situation. I think it's going to get thrown a lot of options. And then I'm going to go Jordan Addison, another safe bet for me, even though, again, we're not sure what's going to happen with J.J. McCarthy. It's a lot of risk there, but I still think those are good two solid wide receivers as my flex and backups. Now you're going to start seeing a lot of the wide receivers coming off the board. Again, a few of the running backs. Could I go another running back because I do have to fill a couple more positions? Absolutely. I am going to start considering the quarterback position. Again, Baker Mayfield's gone. Patrick Mahomes. I still got some quarterbacks I've got to pick up. Now looking at the options here as far as tight end, I'm going to go play it safe, and I'm going to get Mark Andrews. Yes, injuries are a concern for him. I understand that, but I've got to get a tight end here. And I could go a player like Evan Ingram, who I really like for Denver. And Njoku, we'll see how that plays out. But I'm going to go safe and play Mark Andrew. His ADP is dropping constantly in most of these drafts I'm seeing just because of, again, his injuries and uncertainty. But he still was amazing last season, even with that. Now, I've got to fill a couple more spots. I got 3 more bench. And I do have to get the quarterback. Now, look at the quarterback. I can risk it one more time because almost everybody, except for these last 2 teams, have a quarterback. So I'm going to risk it. I'm going to go a little bit later. You have to play how your league is going. Most people in a 1 quarterback league are not going to go get a second quarterback till maybe super late in the draft. Most of these teams are not going to go that route. So with that said, I'm going to risk and hold off on getting a quarterback. Now looking at the options as far as running backs and wide receivers. Running backs, you got Swift, Robinson, you got a couple different options. Again, these are players I could probably get a little bit later on. Looking at wide receivers, Jacoby Myers I like. You've got Brandon Ayuk. Still not sure what's going on. Obviously, the injury coming off. Matthew Golden, we'll see how the rookie plays out for Green Bay. To be a little bit on the safer side, I'm actually going to go Brandon Ayuk. I know that doesn't sound too safe, but I like him because he is the wide receiver 1 for the San Francisco 49ers. And he's going to be relied upon quite a bit if he does end up being healthy. We'll see how things play out. He obviously had some injuries that he's still dealing with, but so did the other wide receivers on that team. So we'll see. And like I said, with the quarterback position, they still did not go that route in here. And again, depending on how your league is going, most people are typically not going to go quarterback again, which means I can still get my quarterback. Now, looking at the options here, I've got Bo Nix, who was amazing last season. Jared Goff, another really great option. Kyler Murray, another great, rushing, quarterback. So of these, Jared Goff to me is my safe bet. I like Bo Nix and Murray just because of the rushing ability, but I'm going to play a little bit safer. I'm going to go that route. And then I'm going to pick up another depth piece, and I'm going to go Zach Charbonnet to pair up with Kenneth Walker, just because there is risk of that. And Charbonnet did a really good job filling in last season when Kenneth Walker went down. I'd rather handcuff one of my running backs, and that's a great option there. Now, the last end, I've got to get a kicker and a defensive squad. Now, sometimes you may not play those type of positions in your fantasy. This is just a more traditional route. So, of course, you still got to get your kicker and defense. Those I typically go last just because you don't necessarily need it. Now, if we were talking IDP, this would play out a little bit differently, but we're going to go that route. Now, filling that out, I got one more depth piece and then obviously kicker and defense. Now, for me, I think kicker's a great option. I'm going to go them after this pick. So looking at my options here, I've got some good running back options. I think I could possibly get one more solid running back like a Tank Bigsby. We'll see how he plays out. Or I look at a Jordan Mason. For me, I'm actually going to go Tank Bigsby because I think he's going to be heavily involved in this Jaguars offense. And then I'm going to go kicker here just because we're going to need somebody. And of course, Dallas's kicker Aubrey is going to be a slam dunk. You got to go that route if he's available. He is the best kicker in the game in the moment. Now we're going to, of course, pick defense. Got to get a defensive team. When you're looking at the defensive teams here, this is going to be where it can be tricky. There's some teams that are fantastic defenses every single year. And looking at the options here, I'm going to go pick Minnesota Vikings, who were fantastic last season. So let's talk about it. All right, so that is my mock draft at the 101 spot. If you guys have questions or maybe you want to critique this draft, let me know in the comments down below. I will not be offended at all. Again, these are my strategies to help me have some success in fantasy football that I've been doing way too long than I want to admit. Hopefully this video kind of helps you guys out, kind of get a landscape of how players are going to play. And of course, I'm going to be doing mock draft videos from now until really kickoff season. We're going to do all kinds of different formats, different styles, and maybe even do some IDP style as well. Because I know a lot of people are getting more and more involved in individual defensive players, which is, again, really good format to play in. So if you guys have questions, let me know down below. Let me know what type of formats you would love to see. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I'll check you guys out next time.